Hi there. We're good to introduce Manoj. Manoj,
Yes.
we I hope
Okay, I was just
you're
waiting.
already on cam. Okay.
Okay. So now we have next line of speaker. That is Manoj Kumar P S. So it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker for ConfQ 2026 Engineering Quality That Last. Manoj Kumar P S. Manoj is a VP of Technology, Solutions and Pre-Sales at Mulia with over 20 years of experience in IT. A well recognized technology leader, and he's passionate about innovation, digital transformation, and user centric solution. He's also a frequent speaker, a mentor, and a thought leader in the tech community. So we welcome you, Manoj.
Thank you.
Over to you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Manoj, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Can you please try sharing your screen first?
Okay, going into that. I would need a confirmation if my screen is visible.
It's visible. It's
Okay.
visible.
So, Sagar, I have tuned my talk for 45, 50 minutes so that I can also answer some of the questions that people can ask.
So yeah,
So
that's good. So you have 40 minutes to talk and 10 minutes to take the question and answers. Okay.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me start. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you join. I am Manoj. My official title is VP, Vice President of Technology Solution and Pre-Sales, which is, if I believe, corporate for the person who gets the phone call when something breaks in front of the customer. Right. Um, I also wanted to mention that I have a certificate of disruptive strategy from Harvard. I mention this only so that when I say something completely obvious in the next 45 minutes, you'll assume it is disruptive. Yeah? Okay. And here's the shape of the next 45 minutes. You can relax, just listen. First, I'm going to make you a little bit uncomfortable. Okay. Then I'm going to make the case why the discomfort is actually the good news. Then I'm going to hand you a playbook you can start using on Monday morning. Let's say today being Friday, deal. And that's the whole plan of it. You can definitely reach me. I look much better than this photo, personally. And you can definitely, that's my LinkedIn scan. You can reach out to me. If you message me through LinkedIn, I make it a point to respond back. I try to mentor a lot of people every year. I try to give them whatever that I have learned. Doesn't mean that I'm correct, but I try to do as much as possible to the community. Okay. Now, transitioning and what's really we are here to talk about. Okay. Let's start uncomfortable. Okay. Let me start by, oh, sorry. Let me start by offending roughly more than half of you. And I want you to notice which half you are here in. Well, we'll come back to that. If the whole of your value as a tester is that you can write, you can take a written test case and click through it carefully, follow the steps, do whatever that it says, I have genuinely bad news for you. AI currently, the last 2 years, is already better than you are. It's faster, it's cheaper. Again, it doesn't apply for a leave, it works 24 hours, right? I say this having hired hundreds of testers over 2 decades. I work for a company called Mulia. We are more than 500 people. I am part of the journey where we hire a lot of people, and I do know what is currently happening in the market. If the honest answer to, let's say, what do you actually do all day? what does a tester do all day? Is if it says that I follow the steps someone else already wrote, that job has a machine shaped target painted on it. Okay. Not because AI is malicious, because that particular job was never really about you. It was about following instructions precisely, and the machine have always been better at following instructions precisely than people are. AI is faster, it's cheaper, and again, as I say, it never asks for any leaves. It works 24 hours. I begin with discomfort is the entry fee here. Okay, for the rest of the talk, pay it now. Everything after this gets easier. You think I'm being dramatic? Many people can think I'm being dramatic, but I'm not. I'll try to prove it to you. I get that a lot, actually. Usually, right before I'm proven correct. So, look at this. Same job title, right? Same company, 7 years apart. I intentionally took 2019. I didn't want to go to 2015, 16, 2008, 5, and stuff and all. I intentionally took it to 2019. Write test cases, run regressions, log defects, do manual UI verification, maintain documentation, honest, real work. On the right, 2026, watch what happens to the exact list. Write and execute test cases. This will also include automation part of it. I'm not going to ignore that part. Still there, but now it's a fraction of the week, not the whole week, right? Run regressions, same, but two lines completely replace what we used to be there. Direct AI assisted test generation and evaluate AI outputs for risks and bias. And a third line that would have sounded absurd in 2019, right? Nobody would have understood this, right? Own quality and strategy and user impact. That's not a QA engineer job description anymore. That's a job description for someone leadership actually listens to. What I can say is they didn't stop hiring testers, they stopped hiring that tester. Now, the part I came to say, best thing that ever happened, right? This is the best thing that ever happened to testing. Genuinely. Okay. The best thing, if and only if you understand what just changed. Because everything they deleted from that job description, that was the boring part. Anyway, repetition. The stuff a machine should always have owned in the first place. And everything that's left, let's say the judgment, the risk, the context, the actual human being on the other end of the software, that was the real job all along. That's the definition what the tester stands for. We were just too busy clicking and testing whatever they were writing until now to notice it. Think about it. Do some mathematics here. Test case execution was maybe 20% of a genuinely good tester's judgment and 80% of their actual week. That is how it was. AI just inverted it, right? It's just flipped it. Same person, radically better use of their time. AI didn't take your job. Don't be scared here. AI didn't take your job. It deleted the boring half and handed you back the half That was always the point. Let me now show what the new tester is. Let's ground this in reality, not prediction. Three things are already true today, not coming soon true. It's already there. One, AI writes production code, period, at scale. There are many companies who are doing different things at different levels. They are just trying, they are doing POCs. There are companies which has complete AI agents running and stuff and all. I'm going to take it in a very generalized way here. Okay. In a lot of engineering organization right now, not as a novelty, but as a default, AI writes code. Two, AI generates the tests. It generates the test cases, it generates the test data, it generates the test scripts. In the time it takes you to make coffee, you go, you make a coffee, everything is generated, right? Three, this is according to me a spicy one. AI now makes decisions on its own. It acts, right? It approves things, routes things, refunds things without a human reading anything. And it doesn't always behave the way you would predict it to behave. Oh. So you would think the whole story, AI eats the entire lifestyle, lights out, everyone goes home, there's no job for a tester. No, except there is one thing it keeps doing badly, consistently, no matter how good the model is. AI keeps losing context, and the context is the entire job of the tester now. Which means curiosity and exploratory testing doesn't leave the rest of the job. They stay. That cannot be handed over to the AI part of it. Firmly with you. I'll give you the whole slide shortly because it's your best weapon. Where we are coming from, what testing used to reward. Okay, I want to introduce you to someone. I just happened to speak to one of a very key guy who influenced me a lot in my very early days. His name is Ravi, so I'm going to use his name here for the sake of it. No offense, anything, no pun intended. Let's call him Ravi. Ravi is a regression tester, 12 years in, 10 to 12 years, two release cycles a month like clockwork. Ravi is genuinely brilliant at his job, right? And his job for over a decade has looked like the list on a screen. Follow the documented steps to bottom, click the happy path, confirm it works as written, rerun the same regression suite, release after release without complaint, log, pass, fail, move to the next ticket. Ravi at times could do this even in his sleep. And honestly, by release, if I say 200 or 300, some of us basically were there, right? Here's the uncomfortable bit for everybody here. Every single item on the list is exactly what AI does fast, better, cheap, and without a coffee break, without leaves, it can do it 24 hours in a day. So the question isn't whether Ravi was good at his job. He was great, of course, he was great. The real question is whether great at this specific list is still a job in the next 5 years. Don't worry about Ravi. Ravi is going to be more than fine. I'll prove it to you before we are done with this presentation. And it's going to be one of my favorite moments of the talk. Okay. For a tester, the one idea to remember: decisions versus execution. Many people only think tech. I want you to stop thinking tech here. We are going to the core of what a tester is. Tech is commodity. Everybody can learn tech. If you remember one slide from today, if you happen to remember, make it this one. My humble request. Everything else is a decoration on top of this idea, right? Decisions stay human, execution moves to AI. That's it. That's the talk. You could, if you want, you could leave now, but you paid for the whole event, so stay. Right? Humans own the judgment, risk, and context. What to test, what actually matters, what good even means for the product. For this user, this week, AI handles generation, coverage, speed, writing the cases, producing the data, running the boring parts. I'm calling it boring. It is boring for me. At 3 in the morning without complaining once. Here's how actually use this on Monday, not just to admire on slide. Next time you're deciding whether a task belongs to you or AI, ask one question. Is this a judgment call or is this an obedience? If it's obedience, following a known rule precisely step after step, hand it over gladly to the AI. If it's judgment, deciding what matters, what impacts does it have, what's risky, what's correct even mean, then that's the one that you belong to. That one's yours and it stays yours. Let me show you the one kind of testing that framework protects completely. The tester's home turf, right? The one kind of testing AI can't take. Remember how I said AI never asks for a leave and stuff and all. Here's the flip side of the coin. Okay, AI never asks for leave, but AI has never lived anywhere. It has no history, no scar tissue inside, no memory of a 2 a.m., 12 p.m., or 1 a.m. incident that still makes you flinch when you see the particular error that happens. The exploratory testing runs exactly that scar tissue. It it's you walking into a screen with a suspicion that isn't written down anywhere because it lives in your gut, built by every release that ever betrayed you. Practically, this looks like chartered exploratory sessions. Give yourself 90 minutes and one mission. Break the checkout flow, assuming the user's connection drops mid payment, and go hunting with no script. Right? AI can generate thousands of random inputs for the flow. It cannot walk in thinking the last time a number looked slightly off the screen, it costs a customer. AI would never know this. Let me go and check that instinct. If thinking that we have, AI would never get that. That single thought, that pattern, that memory, I would also say, plus suspicion, some kind of a hunch, gut feel, that is your mode to survive. That is where the tester will be valued. So the scripted, hand it over gladly. The curious, context soaked part doesn't stay yours. It becomes more valuable as everything around it automates. So, who is the new tester? Am I trying to prove that my framework is right? I do not know. I've been researching this for the last 2, 3 years. I have my framework right in front of you. I'm only trying to help people understand and transition into what can be a better tester. The new tester wears three hats simultaneously, which is one more hat than most of us can find in the morning before coffee. Hat one, they use AI as a tireless assistant to draft test, to generate data, to explore faster, move quicker than they ever could by hand alone. Hat two, they test the AI itself because AI powered features fail in brand new creative ways no regression suite can ever build to catch. And it is just a matter of time that every web application, every mobile application will have some amount of AI inside them. And hat three, they think differently. Testers always has been, will continue to think differently. They stopped asking, does it pass? Previously, this was a question. Does it pass? And started asking, what could go wrong here? Specifically, that a passing test would never show me. If you're building your own development plan after this task, this slide is honestly the whole thing for you, right? Write these three lines as your next appraisal goals, and you'll be ahead of most of the markets. The next appraisal goal, go and talk to your manager saying that I've used AI, I've tested AI, I have thought differently. That is the new definition of a tester. Let's go a bit more deeper. I know there may be questions around. I will definitely entertain all the questions in the end. First, using AI. The instinct in this room, of course, is to treat AI like a threat. AI will take my job away. AI will do whatever that I am currently doing and stuff and all. That's a wrong instinct. Treat it like the world's most over eager or much more energized intern. AI is your intern, infinitely fast, never tired, and beat it. It will lie to your face with total confidence if you let it. And so you supervise accordingly. Concretely, here's what you hand it. Give it a user story. Ask for 50 edge cases on a date picker, let's say, for example. You'll get 50 back in under a minute. You'll get 50 test cases on your date picker under a minute. About three of them will be genuinely brilliant, right? Things you hadn't even thought of. 10 will be nonsense, useless, absolutely not needed. The rest will be fine, but obvious. You would already know that. Filtering that ratio is now the actual skill, not typing the test case yourself. Some patterns for test data. Ask it to generate realistic, varied records respecting your constraints, different postcodes, zip codes, edge case dates, boundary values. It will do it in seconds instead of half day someone used to spend handcrafting a spreadsheet previously. We used to fill it in an Excel file, everybody used to contribute into that. Some for triage, paste in a wall for failure logs, ask it to summarize, cluster them, and you'll cut an hour of scanning down to 5 minutes of the whole thing. But here's the trap, right? And it's the one that gets team into the real trouble. I've seen it. AI output always sounds right. It's fluent, it's confident, it's beautifully formatted. English is beautiful. And sounds right and is right are two completely different things. Sounds right, is right is completely different things. So, what I can say from this slide is the skill isn't typing the test anymore. It's briefing the AI well, then refusing to fully trust it. Your judgment is the quality gate. I wanted to put only one slide really to all the testers here. I know I respect all my tester brothers and sisters who are part of this today, saying that this is just a matter of time that in your portfolio, whatever you test, AI is going to be part of it. It is eventually going to come there. Testing the AI itself is another big challenge many people have not touched. This is the part most teams haven't even started, and it's about to become, according to me, more than half of your job. AI features don't fail like normal software. They don't fail like normal software is, I would say, least honest. Same input, same output every single time, forever. AI can look you dead in the eye and give a different answer on Tuesday to the same question it answered correctly on Monday. That single fact breaks almost every testing habit we've built over the last 20 years because expected result assumed determinism, and determinism just left the building. So you're hunting new monsters, and each one needs a genuinely different hunting technique. Hallucination. The word has been everywhere across for the last 2 3 years. Confident, fluent, completely invented. You catch this by building a small golden data set of known correct answers and check every time a release is done, not by eyeballing whether the response reads well. Bias, quietly unfair to certain users. You catch this by deliberately varying inputs across names, regions, languages, demographics, and comparing outcomes, not by testing one happy path persona. No, drift. Wow, this is really scary. It behaved fine last month. Production, it behaved fine last month, right? It is misbehaving this month, and nobody changed a line of code. You catch this by continuous evaluation, not a one time sign off. Those terms are all gone with the new age of tester because a model that passed in the January can silently fail in June. Unpredictability, two identical inputs, two different outputs. You catch this by literally running the same prompt multiple times and measuring how much the answer wobbles, then deciding how much wobble is acceptable, right? And safety. Can it be talked into doing something it shouldn't? You catch this with what is called as adversarial prompts and adversarial testing. Deliberately trying to break your own guardrails before a stranger on the internet does it for you. Traditional bugs used to hide. The AI bugs look you in the eye, smile, and lie with perfect grammar. You would not even know that it's a bug. So let me zoom you there all the way out because this isn't the only thing that's going to change, right? It's the entire floor of the factory which is changing. There's a term that's going around. I believe this has been coined by AWS, but it's been going around now. It's called AI DLC. Full honesty, there are roughly six competing definitions floating around right now, as per my research, which means it's either genuinely important or completely made up, possibly both. So don't marry any one version of acronym. But the core idea underneath is rock solid. And it's four words: agents execute, humans govern. The old life cycle assumed a human did every single step, start to finish. The new one assumes AI moves into every phase: requirements, design, build, test, release, run. Not as a tool you occasionally reach for, but as a collaborator sitting in the room the whole time. What does that do to the teams? They don't vanish, they recompose, realign. smaller, more senior, organized around steering or reviewing agents instead of hand building everything from scratch. What about operations? Testing stops being a gate that happens once, right before release, saying that, okay, we have tested it, now it is ready for release, and becomes continuous. Now, many people have called it AI ops, watches production, predicts failure before they happen. Sometimes there are also stories where it self heals. And naturally, that self healing behavior is now one more thing somebody has to test again, because a system that fixes itself incorrectly is another category of bug, right? So, where do you fit in all of this? This is the line worth writing down. From writing test cases to designing evals, you're not a phase at the end of the line. You are the conscience running through all of it. The real transformation. So, the real transformation isn't a tool. I'm not going to talk about any tool. I'm not going to tell you any AI suggestions. You use this. This is will help you and stuff and all. I believe, I know, I've read about all the sessions today. There are going to be extremely brilliant speakers who are going to tell you what are all the things that you can do. But I'm going to go to the core part of the thinking of a tester part, the real transformation from execution to critical thinking part of it. So the real transformation isn't a tool, it's a relocation of where your value actually sits from your hands to your head. The old flow: run the script, confirm its pass, report it, repeat it until retirement. The new flow: ask what could go wrong before anybody else does this. Spot the risk early enough that it never becomes an incident. Interrogate the AI's output instead of trusting the green checkmark. And protect the actual human being at the end of it. Spot risk early. Isn't abstract, by the way. Concretely, it looks like raising a flag on a pull request before it merges, based on a hunch on how a feature will behave under a load or with bad data, rather than filing a polished bug 3 weeks after already live and almost cost someone a lot of money. So thinking, if it is thinking is the job, now what does thinking actually run on? Right? If thinking is the job, what does thinking actually run on? It runs on 4 pillars of value. 4 pillars. I'll be quick because you can read, and I'd rather feel this feels than less than get lectured to. I mean, it's not a lecturing slide at all. Curiosity. You are the one who keeps asking what if and why long after everyone else has gone to lunch. If the person who reruns a flow extra time just to see who finds a bug nobody else could does. Context. You understand the business and the user, which, remember, is the exact thing AI keeps losing. AI will lose context. Their technological problem, many problems there. It's knowing that a failed payment screen means something very different for a first time customer versus someone renewing a subscription they've had for 3 years. Ethics. You are the one who notices the bias and the harm before the customer does. The conscience sitting inside the pipeline, not bolted and afterward. And user impact. You anchor every single decision in what actually happens to a real person using the product, not what looks clean on a dashboard. Notice none of these 4 appear anywhere in a regression suite. That's not an accident. That's the entire point of the stock. Now, the question that defines the job, right? Remember Ravi? I had taken time to keep my promise. Ravi didn't get replaced. Ravi got promoted. But by one single question. He stopped asking, did it pass? And started asking the only question that actually matters. What could go wrong when the system behaves unpredictably? Look at that sentence. What could go wrong when the system behaves unpredictably? Three scenarios he now owns that didn't exist on his old checklist. The model is confident but wrong. Who catches that before the customer trusts it or acts on it? Two identical inputs give two different outputs. How do you even define pass anymore? When pass used to mean one fixed, no answer, right? It works beautifully in the demo and quietly rots at the edge in the production 3 weeks later. Where exactly does it start degrading? And who's watching for that instead of just watching the demo go well? Ravi now asks these questions, and no model, not one, asks them better than a person who spent 15 years watching software lie to him in a smaller, dumber way first. 15 years of professional suspicion. I'm going to say this. Professional isn't a legacy skill. It's a superpower with terrible marketing. If he is not able to market himself, he's lost it. Let me now put the whole shift in one slide, side by side. So you've got something to photograph. This, according to me, is the cheat sheet slide for a tester. So I'll go a little slower than the last few. Focus. Old tester executes test cases. New tester asks the right questions. Mindset. Old tester asks, does it pass? Did it clear all the test cases? The new tester asks, what could go wrong? The relationship to AI is going to be there. There is absolutely period. It is not going to let you. There is no time in the near future where people are going to say, I don't want to use AI. Let me go back to the primitive time. Old tester competes with it, tries to outclick a machine, which is a fight you cannot win. New tester directs it, then audits it. You are its manager, not its rival or competition. Measured by the old tester counts by the number of test cases that has been run, tickets closed, right? New tester is measured by the risks caught and the trust earned. This is the new word which is going to replace coverage for a tester. Previously, it was coverage. The new word is going to be trust. A number that's trust earned will be a number that's much more harder to fake and much more valuable line to be put in front of your leadership whenever there is a question asked. And the core skill, it flips from repetition to critical thinking. Many people will argue saying that we were already thinking, we were the one writing the test cases, we were the one holding the releases and stuff and all. But somewhere, based on the research that I have done, it is much more repetitive there, which now conveniently is the one row of the entire table that a model still cannot do for you, because this is the critical thinking that you bring to the table. If in this session, if you only photograph one slide of the whole talk, make it this one. Take a screenshot of this. Then tonight, just sit 5 minutes, score yourself honestly against the right hand side. That's not a slide, that's your development plan. And it's more useful than most training courses you'll sit through a year. I'll give you a real world example which I was part of it, and my team went through it. Let me also tell you the time when AI sounded right, and nearly it cost money. One of our customers, an AI powered support assistant, it answered every billing questions beautifully. Warm, fluent, fast, exactly the tone the brand wanted. Auto generated tests, all green, every single one. We had a regression with Selenium test cases running against it, and everything is green. Except one of the tester, our kind of tester, asked a deeply annoying question in the review. The tests check that the answers come back. Do any of them check whether the answer is true? There was complete silence in the room. Nobody responded because nobody built that check. It sounded right had quietly become it's right the whole time. So she actually, it was her. She did three things in order. First, she stopped grading fluency and started grading correctness. Is it accurate? Not just well written. Second, she built checks against the company's actual refund policy, documents line by line, instead of trusting the model's summary of them. Third, she went hunting for the edge cases of all the auto generated tests never imagined. Partial refunds, multiple currency, cancelled, then reordered, all messy cases. Okay. And rather than the happy path tests that never touch those kind of things. What did she manage to find? Roughly, I believe, I remember this, 1 in 12 answers confidently invented a refund policy that did not exist anywhere in the company policy. Not vague, not hedged, stayed as a fact in the same warm, confident tone as every correct answer. The AI which was used in the chatbot was binding sounding promises to the customers that the company would have had to either honor at real cost or walk back and damage the complete trust issue that it had brought into it. All the tests passed. The product was lying. Those two sentences can be true at the same time. That's the whole new job of a tester. I owe her. She caught it before launch that AI could not have caught itself. It was one doing that hallucinating. That catch didn't come from the tool, it came from the human being professionally suspicious for a living. Now, let's get into much more practical thinking of what the tester needs to. Start Monday, today being Friday, start Monday. Skills worth building now. Practical time. What do you actually do? 6 things. You don't need permission. One prompt. One, the prompt direct AI well. Deliberately distrust it on purpose. This week, write 3 different prompts for the same test case generation task and compare what comes back. 2, get sharper at risk based thinking for every feature. Ask where failure would hurt the user most and start there instead of the top of the script. 3, go deeper in your domain. That's the one thing AI structurally cannot fake because it hasn't lived in your business the way you have. AI is new, it's just an infant. 4, learn to read AI behavior and spot bias. Pick one AI feature in your product if it exists and deliberately vary the input across names, regions, languages. Just watch what changes after that. 5, get fearless. I want you guys to reset your brain and think about this. Get fearless about context driven exploration. Chase, that's odd, that's weird, something's not right, instead of writing it off. And six, speak up on ethics. Because in most rooms, someone has to be the one who says the quiet, uncomfortable thing out loud, and it should be you. That's the new tester. You don't need a budget, a tool, a manager's blessing to start being suspicious of right things, what you want to do of. If you remember nothing else, I wanted to club it on the key takeaways part of it. After the conference, maybe people may not remember much of it. One, I want you to note down some of the things. One, AI changes the job, it does not remove the need for testers. The role moves from execution to judgment, and judgment is a lot harder to automate than a click sequence. Two, use AI and test AI. There is no way out of it. It will be there, it is going to happen. Both, not either. Let it do the heavy lifting, then hold its output to account for the failure modes we just walked through. Three, decisions stay with you. What to test, what's risky, what actually matters to the users. That's your to own. Nobody takes it from you unless you hand it over to them. And four, curiosity and the context win, because they are the two things on the entire list that genuinely cannot be downloaded or replaced. So here's your homework. It's very simple. Don't compete with AI. You will lose. It's cheaper, it's faster, and yes, it still never asks for leaves. So outthink it instead. This week, or whenever you find time, do three small things. Pick one AI tool and add it to your workflow for one task. Any task. I do not know, you decide it. Question, audit one AI output anywhere in your product for what it quietly got wrong. Grow. Pick one pillar. Pick one pillar from earlier: curiosity, context, ethics, user impact, and get visibly, noticeably better at the one thing this month. I mean, it's difficult for you to get into everything, at least one thing, not all four at once. That's it. That's the whole ask. Small, specific, and yours to start today. No roadmap, no budget approval, no 6 month some transformation program required. That is what is the new tester is. I'll leave. I believe I am at the right time with respect to whatever that is needed. My QR code can be scanned for me to be connected with my LinkedIn. I basically answer most of the points, whatever that is sent to me. I'm open to the questions now.
Thank you, Manoj. That was such a thought provoking session, and I'm sure most of us have connected the dots already. So, thank you, Manoj. I think we began with uncomfortable truth that AI can outperform us in repetitive tasks. Explored why AI itself needs rigorous testing, and we also saw how the entire development life cycle is evolving, and concluded with most important message of all, that our role is shifting from execution to critical thinking. So that's not just a change in testing, it's a transformation in how we create quality. So thank you again, Manoj, for such an inspiring session. And now I just open for any kind of questions you have for Manoj, and
And
later
before
we'll
that,
go.
let's have a huge round of applause for Manoj. Let the reactions get flowing. Okay, thanks for a wonderful session. I think quite good number of comments here, good number of punchlines, the takeaways. So thanks, Manoj. Okay, so everyone, I hope you have access to Q&A section. Okay, so if you have any questions for Manoj, I see already there are 3 or 4 questions, but if you have any more questions, please do put the questions in the Q&A section. Okay, Anita, please probably take the questions from the Q&A session.
Sure. Sorry.
So you want me to read the questions, Anita?
I'll go ahead and read for you, Manoj.
So
Okay,
you
I
can
think.
focus on answering those.
So there was one question. I think first question: if I were a manual tester today, what skills should I learn?
Okay. See, okay. I really like this question. Respect for the person who asked this question. I have been getting this question for some time and stuff. And yeah. My answer to you is I think this question bubbles. I'm assuming, okay, I cannot comment on any person. I'm assuming this question bubbles from the thought process from the person saying that AI is going to replace me. AI is going to do all the manual thinking, manual testing that I could do. My whole presentation was on that. The decisions, the thinking stays with the tester. Execution goes into the AI. What would be the ideal thing for this person to learn is how can he become much more powerful, he or she, of course, become much more powerful as a tester using AI. What is that person testing? If that person is testing mobile, then suitably do something relevant to that. Testing legacy systems, do something to that. Doing something with the web or anything that is very repetitive, do something with that. Find the ideal AI partner for you. Elevate yourself. Do the repetitive task using AI. Keep the thinking and the decision with you.
Thank you, Manoj. I hope I think whereas asked this, it answered their question. Now move on to the next question. How much prompt engineering should a tester know?
Okay, so this question can never be answered perfectly. Okay, now I have been studying the market and I have been seeing in the big companies that there are big budgets of AI being entered into every application. Salesforce has come with AI, SAP has come with AI. Now let's say my Swiggy has an AI, Zomato has an AI and stuff and all, right? Now, on the same note, every application will now have AI. So AI will have its own whims and fancies. It will hallucinate, it will have its bias, it will drift and stuff and all. The same thing applies to wherever you are going and prompting. Let's say I see this a lot from my role wherever I go. We have Claude, we use Claude. We have Claude, we use Claude. I mean, what is Claude? What is Claude doing? You just put a prompt, you just tune a prompt. There are some 10,000 Instagram influencers who have come saying that please send me a hi, I will send you the prompt which will help you bring the best thing out of Claude. It doesn't work, buddy. There is nothing like that. The whatever Claude gives it to you is the context that Claude has built. You give the best context to it, it will give you the answer. You build half a context to it and you build a fantastic prompt to it, where will it answer? I would really say use prompts, use Gen AI, use all kind of AI tools. Again, going back to the thought, the decision relies with you, the thought process relies with you, the execution goes there. Identify and understand shortcuts, make your prompts better, always helpful.
Thanks, Manoj. Move on to the next question. What skills should testers develop to stay valuable?
Oh, that was my whole presentation.
Yes, all about. I hope, Kamakshi, that was answered in Manoj's presentation. So with that, I'll move on to the next question.
Yeah, it was in later part of the presentation. But thank you. Thanks for your presentation.
Again,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you, Kamakshi. Nice to connect with you. Many people come to me and ask, saying that, imagine yourself as a cricketer. I'm just going to take an example as a cricketer. How do I hit sixes? I want to hit sixes. Uh, so that's the point that you're asking me. What tool should I use? Should I use Claude and stuff and all? What would a coach always tell you? Hold your bat right so that you don't get out. Then comes hitting a six. That's what I was answering through the whole presentation. Let's not zero in on a tool. Let's not pay something to some study some tool. Let's not, no, strengthen your foundation, strengthen your base. Tester, beat it. I'll give it to you in writing. Tester will never be replaced. A company firing all the testers and hiring AI will come back to you. You are now in, you're waiting for the lottery to happen to you. They'll come back to you.
Thank you, Manoj. There was one more question. Yeah. What do you think is the one human quality that AI will struggle to replace, even 5 or 10 years from now?
See, AI will always have limitations. The limitations can be hardware limitation, software limitation, context window limitations, power limitation, computation, GPU, NVIDIA, Amazon, everything and stuff and all. And that is the reason it has been named as AI and not I. It
Mhm.
has something called artificial before the intelligence. And your brain is not artificial intelligence. Your brain is called intelligence. So AI will never ever replace you in your critical thinking. Critical, I would suggest, buddy, whomever asked this question, saying that if you go to any of these Gen AIs and ask, saying that I am going to a 5 day trip to Goa, what should I do in Goa? I like this. It can suggest things,
Yes.
right? That is one. Second, if you go and ask the chat GPT or Claude saying that I have 5 days off, what should I do? So
Mm.
that's the whole point of it. The critical thinking of going to Goa, enjoying Goa, and stuff and all is decided by you. What are all the places that has have gained much of a thing in the last 2 3 years can be suggested by that. You cannot go and ask any AI saying that what should I do for the next 5 days. That is where no AI can beat you.
Yeah. Thanks, Manoj. And yeah, I think slides will be available for the participants for reference. That was one of the question. And AI is transforming QA, but what about the user data privacy? And how can QA teams responsibly use AI without compromising sensitive info?
Okay. So all the things what it was with respect to the privacy laws previously before AI still resides. Okay. Just because AI has come doesn't mean that AI has access to all the data which you had never access to. You may have to cook up some test data. Yes. You may have to limit yourself with respect to accessing the customer data. Yes. You may have to morph the data. Yes. That doesn't change. And all the policies across, let's say Singapore has ruled out an AI policy. Europe has a very strong AI policy combined with its GDPR. US AI policy is about to come out. India's DPDP Act is about to come out and stuff and all. And all of them talk about AI apart from data. So they're differentiating AI and data. So just because you have AI doesn't mean that AI can access any of the confidential data and work around it. No, it is just like another tester who has joined your team. Just because a new tester is joined, you don't give all the data to the tester, right? No, that's how it is going to be.
Thanks, Manoj. I have a lot of questions. So, Sagar, do we still have time to take up? There are many questions pouring in.
Maybe we can go two, three more. Maybe Manoj,
Okay.
you can answer in a short. Okay.
Okay, I'll try to make it short.
Try
Okay.
to make it short so that we can address most
Yes.
of the questions.
Hmm.
Okay. So, I mean, there was a question. What are the key differences between traditional test automation tools and AI powered tools?
Oh, there are quite a lot. This I'm very difficult to answer short. Okay. There's something a new thing that has come called agentic testing. That means you don't do automation. You just write test cases. The AI reads through the test cases and automatically goes and clicks. So when it comes to APIs, web and mobile, this thing is going to stay. Traditional automation with respect to writing and maintaining the script and doing that is going to be taken over by AI.
Okay, I think there seems to be one interesting question. The question is long show, but I think the answer might be short. I have a question on the AI panic. For
Yeah.
those who panic,
Okay.
okay, for those who worked in the early days of software testing, when test automation was first introduced, how did manual testers react 20 to 25 years ago? Was there a concern that automation would eventually replace manual testing jobs, similar to the discussion we are having today around AI? So,
So this is going to be always there. Okay. The new car comes, the old car will be deprecated. The new laptop comes, the old laptop will be deprecated. Automation come, there is no need for manual testers. AI has come, there is no need for automation testers and stuff and all. Everything's going to be there for certain percentage. Nobody is going to be completely deprecated. Again, I'll tell you what my slides was clearly saying. If you are into repetitive doing the same things, of course, buddy, you will be replicated. You are not needed. The moment you bring some thinking, some critical processes, some innovation, some kind of a context, nobody can replace you.
thank you, Manoj. Uh, One more question here. So, they just want to understand about the metrics which organization should use to measure a tester's value beyond the number of tests executed.
Okay, there are quite a lot of metrics actually. See, exploratory manual testing had some metrics, automation had some metrics. I'll give you one metric for AI, quite a lot. I don't have that much of time. Please reach out to me, I can talk about it. The new metric is trust, not coverage, trust. How much of a trust the tester has before the release, after the release, during the release, or if it is live. That is the new metric, trust.
Okay. Thanks, Manoj. I think one last question here. AI is evolving a lot. How can a QA be up to speed? Are there any references, articles, or resources you can recommend to follow regularly?
Many. Okay. Don't fall for all of these LinkedIn kind of a things. Okay. They're all here for fan followers. Uh, every month there are 2 or 3 releases with respect to ChatGPT, Claude, and models and coming out and stuff and all. If there is something that is going to change and that change is going to come to you, it will come to you. You will know it. You need not run behind it.
Thank you, Manoj. So I just have a question from my side. I think so looking ahead in the future. So what is that most or what excites you the most about the future of testing in the age of AI?
So for me, I think I have had my argument with many people and stuff and all. I firmly believe the turnaround time is going to be much more shorter.
Okay.
Previously, the testing cycles of whatever it was, it's going to be much more shorter to what it is. So, idea to output time, now the development, the design, the testing, the output, the release, everything would be much more faster than it is, including all the thought processes, thinking, everything owned by humans.
Okay. Thanks, Manoj.